It was such a tremendous performance.
Hello and welcome back to this final edition of the Nation News Touchline Report, brought to you by Stag Bear. Stag Bear, it's a vibe. I say final because the Republic Cup and the Women's Super League, both of them are done, and we have our kings and our queens, and we're going to talk to you a little bit more about the climax of both tournaments in a bit. My name is Nick Maitland, and joining me for this special episode is women's coach and former goalkeeper, one of the best goalkeepers we've ever had in Barbados, and he's a good lad because his birthday is the day before mine. So welcome to Tizzy O'Reilly, a good friend of the show, and we're going to talk about the Women's Super League. He was a coach with Fitz Village. Unfortunately, Fitz Village lost yesterday's final 1-0 to UB Blackbirds, but Tezio was on the touchline, and he's going to tell us everything here on our touchline. So welcome, Tezio, to the touchline report. First of all, we got to talk about Fitz Village. You guys had a miraculous run to the final, and unfortunately, you lost 1-0 to UE. That girl again, they call us Cyrus the Virus. Yeah. Rihanna, I told her I don't like that one for her though. But Rihanna Cyrus, she came up with the goal just after the halftime. After halftime had began, and that was all that was needed for UE. So tell us about that game from a Fitz Village perspective.
Okay, well, first, just let me congratulate the UE Blackbirds female team, job well done. Also want to congratulate Fitz Village reaching the final, and for us in that game, we usually play on the counter. There's our head coach Mario. We got the opportunity to work together again. Pretty much, we try to hit them in behind, keep the ball when necessary, but we on the mistakes and hit them on the counter because we got some fancy feet up front and some quick girls as well.
Tell me about Keenel Johnson. A lot of people have been speaking about Keenel's role in the team. She's usually a left back. Yeah. This competition, she played at centre back. She wore the captain's armband as well. Tell us about Keenel and her impact on the team throughout this competition.
Okay, so with Keenel, she's a lefty. She, like you said, she usually plays left back. But Mario wanted to challenge her as well. And she has the height, strength, and length and range of passing for a centre back as well. Her leadership role within the team, she would have come up with the under-20s, under-17s and under-20s. Yeah. And this was her chance to lead the team. And it went pretty well. And she has some veterans around her as well, like Kerry and Bimbles and Rhea and goal. So she's coming on well. There's a lot to go. Women usually play longer than men. So.
Last week we had your goalkeeper, Rhea. She was here. We gave her all of our best before the cup final. Unfortunately, somebody got win, somebody got lose. But I think Rhea as well was a very important part of this team, especially marshalling the troops at the back. I thought that in Sunday's final, when you guys lost a bit of composure, I would say, or a bit of control in the game, was when Rhea went quiet. She wasn't communicating with the backline as much as she was in the first half, for example. So tell me about Rhea as well and her impact in the final itself and on the road to the final.
Okay, so we'll talk about the final first. Rhea is two different people. So on the field, Rhea is sporty, funny, always laughing. When she gets in that goal, she's serious, no nonsense. I'm not quite sure what happened halftime, but with Rhea, sometimes she has the ability to just go sign up for a bench. Unfortunately, that's when the goal scored. Yeah, but she's very, very passionate. I just told her, make sure that your passion for the game doesn't turn into aggression. Yeah, and people read it the wrong way. Yeah, and that's something that we have to work on.
You are obviously goalkeeper coach for the national women's team, the Lady Tridents, and I guess you're a goalkeeper coach for Fitz Village as well. One thing I realize about the women's game, we want to have more quality goalkeepers among the women. Among the men, we can handpick a few of them, but goalkeepers among the women, we want to increase those numbers. So what's your role, and how do you see your role now coming out of this Women's Super League in trying to develop more goalkeepers for the national team and just in general among women's football?
Because as we know, goalkeeping is a very difficult job. It's a specialist position. People don't like goalkeeping. Goalkeepers seldom get any glory.
They get all the blame too.
Yeah, yeah.
From me especially.
Yeah. So, but what really happened is I feel like we have a goalkeeping crisis in Barbados. Maybe we can approach it a little different in terms of encouraging, like in the development stage, get everybody to goalkeep.
Yeah.
Change roles. Yeah. If you're a striker, just work on development instead of focusing on winning, like under 7 and then 9. Yeah, you can't be focusing on winning at that age. You might find more people falling into the role of goalkeeping, actually wanting to do it and enjoying it.
Once you expose them to it at an earlier age. Okay, that's something to note, and we'll stick a pin in that and make sure that we come back to that in terms of our development of our game, because we're putting you in charge of developing goalkeepers in Barbados. You were developed by some great goalkeepers.
Yeah, I was
Barbados.
lucky. I was lucky. Yeah.
So you are the one who's going to pass on that knowledge. Agreed?
Yeah,
fantastic. For sure. So let's look at the Women's Super League and let's see if we can put a final wrap on this competition that lasted for just about 12 weeks and brought a lot of entertainment to all of us. UV Blackbirds, they are the champion. FVFC Femini, Fitz Village, runners-up. RF Prime, they finished in 4th spot, and in 3rd spot was Kickstart Genesis. We had Pinelands winning the plate competition. They defeated Mavericks in the plate. Combined women finished at the bottom of the group, as well as Technique. I think that all these teams featured some girls who really gave it their all. And now we're looking forward to having regular football, a regular women's league. So tell me about the competition in general, what you thought, what you discovered, and how we can improve now for the Women's League and have the Women's League every year.
Yeah, so for this competition, the BFA took it back to the community. And it was important for the community to see women playing and come out and watch them. You were at the game last night, stands with birds, people outside couldn't get in. I found that hilarious. That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. So this competition for the women, it was really inspiring. Like, we saw girls that never been able to see before. They had past players, people who fell off maybe around age 14, 15, that might have played in some junior teams that just came out and they really went for it. But for all in all, the competition was good, and I hope the BFA can improve on it.
Indeed, and I heard a little birdie told me that next January they're planning for some restart of football. Hopefully the men and the women can get a restart there and we can have regular football, and we're past this pandemic foolishness and we're pressing on now to have great football. When we come back to Touchline Report, we'll talk to Mr. Daniel Rowe about the Men's Republic Cup and everything that happened there.
Yeah.
Yes, welcome back to the Touchline Report, brought to you by Stag Bear. Stag Bear, it's a vibe. And we've substituted out Tizio and we brought in Daniel Rowe, and he's going to talk to us about the Men's Republic Cup. He was a part of the UE Blackbirds team, which I think was defeated in the semi-final? Quarterfinal of the Republic Cup. They were ousted by the eventual third place team, Paradise. And it was a real difficult game for them, played in the rain, and of course Paradise came out victorious. But Daniel is here to speak to us about UV's progress as well as the tournament in general and what we can look forward to our season, which is scheduled to start on January 22nd, 2023. Getting my 22s and 23s mixed up. But in any case, the final for the Men's Republic Cup took place last Sunday, and Weymouth Wales, they took a 1-0 win over Ellerton. Much like they did 3 years ago, Kemar Headley scored in the 101st minute to give Wales that victory. Daniel, you were at the final?
I watched from home.
Oh, you watched it on the live stream?
I watched it on the live stream.
You probably enjoyed the commentary as well. So yeah, talk to me about the game, and it was 2 hours of football. Yeah. Talk me through the game and what you were hoping to see that you didn't see, what you weren't hoping to see that you saw.
Well, before I start, I just want to say rest in peace to Kobe Shepherd. my teammate, taken from us too soon by gun violence. From what I saw in the game, Wales continued. Wales just marched on, man. They've looked like a very talented, a very intelligent unit over the last few weeks, especially once football transitioned to the turf. I know that a lot of teams didn't transition that well because the turf, obviously having been laid quite recently, it was still bedding in, so it's really sticky to run on. It's sticky to run with the ball. But I gotta say that some of those Wales players definitely look really silky running with the ball. It was very happy to see. In our game, it was evident Akeel Applewhite was moving with the ball very, very efficiently, very smoothly. Yeah, we saw Fatty carrying the ball well for Wales. Kimar carrying the ball well for Wales as well. I was also impressed by Nadre. Nadre fought his way into this Wales team, and I tell you, he has not looked back. And overall, I think that Ellerton as well, they brought it. Bell, again, another one. He showed that he still got that speed. That speed is still there. He didn't lose it over COVID. And I gotta say, Jill, as well. He's
Brathwaite,
yeah. He's been moving the ball quite well. They have a left back who I've been impressed with.
Headley.
Headley. Yes.
Top man.
I remember you were telling me about him as well. Yeah, he impressed me. He's been working hard. And the goalkeeper,
Jamar Brewster.
Gotta say, I think the goalkeepers really did show up and show out this tournament. We got penalty saves from. He saved one. We had the goalkeeper from.
I think Liam Brathwaite
saved one. Well. We had one saved in the UE match. We also had one saved, I'm pretty sure, in the other game as well.
And Barbara's Boxer from
Barbados.
He scored a penalty.
See what I mean?
So, yeah.
See what I mean? The goalkeepers, I think, have been pretty impressive this tournament. But in terms of the final, I was happy with what I saw. I was encouraged to see that the players were able to make it through all 120 minutes. It showed that they've been working on their own over this COVID break, and I think the new national team coach will be impressed with what he saw and with what he has to work with.
And that was a great segue, Daniel, because the Barbados Football Association today announced a new head coach. Let me get the name right. Orlando Da Costa. He's Portuguese, and his assistant will be Ricardo Fernandes. Two guys with two great names, and they will start immediately and initially on a 1-year contract. And I think that they've watched a good set of the Republic Cup football, and they have some ideas of how they want the team to play. He said he wants the team to play attacking. He says the best form of defense is to play as far away from your goal as possible. So I anticipate some real exciting football for the Barbados Tridents in the near future. Now, he doesn't know yet who his team will comprise of, but for you, who are the players that you saw in the Republic Cup that you say, well, apart from the ones you mentioned, maybe some from UE, maybe some you played against, who are some guys who really stood out to you in this tournament?
So far in this tournament, I've been impressed with. I can start from defense first. I can start with UE ourselves.
Please do.
We have a couple Russians in who I've been impressed with.
I saw them on the TV sheet. I can pronounce the names though.
Diazco, I think.
Yeah,
brothers. One is lightning fast. The other one is very composed in the midfield. Happy to see them. I'd like to see them get a chance. They did represent our island at under 20 level.
Okay. So they qualify to play for Barbados?
Yes, they qualify
to play
for Barbados.
Great, excellent.
If you look at Paradise, they have back Trim. Trim's looked pretty solid. I was also impressed by, we mentioned Apple. Mario has been good. I think that his leadership,
a bit hard, yeah.
his leadership is something that we can't ever overstate. I was really happy looking at a lot of those Wales players, man.
That's basically the national team there.
I don't like to do that, but I mean I do think that their players under a new management, I would like to see a lot of the players who have decided that they are trying to they didn't like the national setup. I would like to see a lot of them see if they can come back in. Obviously, new coach. There's it seems like a new way of running things. There's a new technical director. There's new facilities. I honestly believe that we're now starting to turn the corner, because I mean they have the coaches have their pro licenses.
Yes, pro licenses.
So I mean I think that this is something that can attract players, and I think we're finally understanding now with, like, for example, Baga is going off to Australia, that if we do have the quality, all we need to do is compensate them correctly. You know, make a man worthwhile, that, you know, he doesn't, you know, work for whoever he calls out to, you know, to make training. And then we also have a lot of players coming back in. The same Taggio, Devontae, Andre Applewhite. We got a whole
Manny Leacock,
a plethora of players who will be coming back in, who will be looking to make a big impact. So I think I can easily name 30-40 players who should be at national trial. I mean, Kimar Headley hasn't been in the team.
I told him last night.
For a while.
Listen, I told him last night. I said, Kimar, I really didn't want y'all to win. And I say it now on Touchline Report, I was backing Ellerton to win the final. I told Kimar, listen, man, I really didn't want y'all to win, but you're the man. I think he scored 6 or 7 goals in his last 3
Well, you know, he was up for best defender in Capelli in the last. I think he got it. So I mean,
I think I voted for him best defender in Capelli.
That's what I say. So he went for best, and he's up for best attacker. I think the same Jadon, who won most goals for him, he has been insane this season. So I think he's one who should get a run out. You know, let him try. I think that. As well, if you can get people like Pete back around the national setup.
You've been trying.
I mean,
Pete. They really need you. And even on that point as well, I think is a real travesty that none of these guys in the Ellerton team are really thereabouts for the national team. Only really Rashawn, Speedy Gittins. He's the only one really. But I think that because Ellerton have dominated club football, especially these knockout tournaments for the last however long, from the Capelli final in 2019 to now, why aren't some of these Ellerton players in the national team? Shaquille Bell, for example. Rashawn Brathwaite is one in midfield. Even if you talk about Shane Codrington, I haven't seen Codrington play for the national team a lot. So I'm hoping with the new management, the new coaches, they've come in, they've watched a lot of the competition from the round of 16 stage. I don't know when they arrived, but hopefully they watched a lot of that football, and we can see a different national team going forward. Headley, I told Headley, listen, I didn't want y'all to win, but use the man. You need to play for the national team. And he said that he basically said that there are persons who need to okay his return to the national team. So whoever those persons are,
please okay.
Kimar Headley, Romario here, with all these guys need to be in the national team. Even when you look at Wales, Fatty is one of the players in the national team. Ramar Miller is not close to the national team either.
Oh, yeah, we definitely need Miller. Like Miller for sure has a lot of quality that he can add. I can still be rooting for my guys. Ramon Manning at our left back. Guys. I don't know if he's gonna actively come back, but Carl Hinkson, I don't know.
Carl retired.
Carl is not retired. Don't let him fool you. Carl loves football too much. But I also think that like he also brings a social media side to it. Having done social media and branding and marketing, I believe that is one of the ways that we can bring out people. And then we also have a lot of youth coming up, because I've been watching the development cup, the under 16 cup that Whitehall has been having on, and I gotta say they've done a really good job. The teams have looked really, really good. Obviously you get one or two that are, I don't want to say out of place, but aren't quite at the standard, and you get a couple who are way above the standard. So I do believe that there's a good crop coming through if we can harness that and put some programs in place that can be developmental. I know the under 17 side is traveling shortly. Yeah,
next February, I believe.
Yeah, they're traveling in February, and they're gonna be playing USA and Canada. So
Trinidad and Tobago.
I mean, that's some big names, and they're gonna get some valuable experience. I think one of the guys came on and scored a brace for Paradise in the Shamari, came on and scored a brace for Paradise in the third place game. So I mean, I think the future can be bright. I think it also depends on how quickly the coaches can adapt to us, because it's not only we have to adapt to their systems and standards and whatnot, they have to adapt to our players. I don't know how well they speak English, but they have to adapt to our players, our cultural norms, all these kind of things, and then I think we can all look to take that step forward. And yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic.
That's well said. And we're moving forward with our local football, moving into the light, pressing on to the light, and hopefully we can make things right with this new Portuguese coaching team. Thank you so much, Daniel, for being here. Tears yours, well, he's off camera. And these guys have done a really great job of helping us to dissect and put together our thoughts on the Men's Republic Cup and the Women's Super League. Our football is moving on, and we're moving on into a bright direction, and hopefully from now on we can say that our football is better than it ever was. See you later.